Imagine for a moment a man standing at the edge of a quiet field, watching the sunset at the age of 65. He looks back over the landscape of his life, the decades spent waking up, hurrying to work, paying bills, meeting obligations, and he realizes with a cold, sinking clarity that he built nothing. He did not fail grandly in a dramatic, catastrophic collapse. He was not ruined by a single reckless decision. Rather, his potential was simply drained away, drop, by subtle, unexamined daily compromises. This is the quiet tragedy of the human condition. Poverty is rarely an overnight event. It is not a sudden lightning strike that destroys a man's estate while he sleeps. No, poverty is a slow, methodical accumulation of small neglect, bad math, and unexamined habits. It creeps into a life silently, disguised as comfort, masked as busyness, and excused by rationalization. Today we face a stark binary. You are either designing your life or you are drifting into someone else's plan. You are either accumulating assets of character, discipline, and capital, or you are compounding the silent interest of neglect. The line between prosperity and ruin is not a canyon. It is a razor's edge defined by what you choose to tolerate in your daily routine. Let us examine the 5 subtle habits that quietly guarantee poverty, and more importantly, how you can dismantle them starting today. Number 1, the failure to distinguish between being busy and being productive. We live in a culture that worships activity. People run from meeting to meeting, check hundreds of notifications, clear their inboxes, and collapse into bed at midnight, exhausted, whispering to themselves, "Look how hard I worked today." But fatigue is not a metric of achievement. Running on a treadmill will make you sweat, but it will never take you anywhere new. I once knew a young man who came to me full of energy and passion. He told me, "I am working 16 hours a day. I am working until my eyelids are heavy, but my bank account remains empty. Why is life so unfair?" I looked at him and asked, "What did you produce today? Not what did you do, but what value did you create?" He began to list his tasks. He organized his desks. He answered emails. He filed paperwork. He held conversations. I stopped him. "You are confusing motion with progress. You are spending major time on minor things." The subtle habit of the perpetually poor is that they mistake activity for accomplishment. They spend their precious hours reacting to the demands of others, tending to small, low-value tasks that yield no long-term equity. Ask yourself this question right now. If you repeat today's exact workload every day for the next 5 years, will it fundamentally alter your financial and personal destiny? Or are you simply maintaining the status quo of your current station? If you want to build true wealth, you must shift your focus from exertion to enterprise. You must master the art of ruthless prioritization. Stop measuring your worth by how tired you are at the end of the day, and start measuring it by the tangible, permanent assets, skills, investments, relationships, and systems that you constructed before the sun went down. Number 2, the toleration of small neglects, the second habit, is perhaps the most insidious because it operates almost entirely beneath your conscious awareness. It is the subtle belief that small details do not matter. It is the decision to skip 1 day of reading. It is the choice to spend $10 more than you earned today. It is letting a single bill sit unpaid on the counter, or letting one promise to yourself slip by without consequence. You say to yourself, "It's just $5. It's just 1 day. It's just 1 phone call I didn't make. It won't ruin me." And you are right. It won't ruin you today. But you must understand the law of compounding. Just as tiny daily investments compound into extraordinary wealth over a decade, Tiny daily errors in judgment compound into catastrophic failure. A ship does not sink because of a sudden mountain of water collapsing over its deck. It sinks because a small trickle of water in the hold went unaddressed until the vessel became too heavy to float. I once knew a businessman who owned a small, promising company. He was brilliant at sales, full of charm, and possessed great vision. But he neglected the quiet details. He didn't review his financial statements every week. He let small overhead expenses creep up unnoticed. He ignored subtle shifts in his client's satisfaction. When his business finally collapsed into bankruptcy, he blamed the market. He blamed his partners. He blamed the economy. But the truth was far simpler. He was ruined by the weight of 1,000 small, neglectful choices that he considered too minor to pay attention to. Take an inventory of your daily routine. Where are you letting the small things slide? What tiny standard have you lowered in your health, your finances, or your personal discipline under the delusion that it carries no long-term cost? Remember this: how you do anything is how you do everything. Master the micro, or the macro will destroy you. Number 3, the consumption of toxic perspectives and social circles the human brain is a processing engine. What you put into it determines what comes out of it. Yet the vast majority of people allow their minds to become garbage dumps for low-value information, toxic commentary, and negative influences. You cannot drink poison and expect to remain healthy. And you cannot immerse yourself in the language of scarcity and expect to build a life of abundance. Look closely at the 5 people you spend the most time with. What are they discussing when you sit together? Are they debating ideas, strategizing enterprise, and demanding excellence from one another? Or are they gossiping about neighbors, complaining about the government, and making excuses for their own lack of initiative? I once knew a gifted craftsman, a man with rare talent in his hands and a genuine spark of genius in his mind. But every evening after work, he gathered at the local tavern with men who had given up on their dreams decades prior. They drank away their wages, laughed at those who tried to get ahead, and comforted each other with bitter stories of why the world was rigged against them. Over time, without even realizing it, this craftsman adopted their cadence, their cynicism, and their limits. Within 5 years, his fire was completely extinguished. He didn't lose his talent. He simply traded his ambition for the cheap comfort of toxic brotherhood. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. You cannot fly with eagles if you insist on swimming with ducks. Ask yourself, who am I around? What are they having me say? What are they having me read? What are they having me become? And most importantly, is that acceptable to me? If the answer is no, then you must make the hard, necessary cuts. Walk away from the conversations that shrink your vision. Disconnect from the sources of noise that feed your anxiety while draining your enterprise. Guard the doorway of your mind as if your very life depended on it, because it does. Number 4, the habit of waiting for ideal conditions. The 4th habit that guarantees poverty is the perpetual postponement of action until conditions are perfect. People say, I will start that business when the interest rates drop. I will start saving when I get a raise. I will invest in my education when my schedule opens up. I will take control of my life when things settle down. Let me give you a profound truth that will save you decades of wasted potential. Things will never settle down. Conditions will never be ideal. The wind will always blow against you at times. The market will always present uncertainty. Your calendar will always be filled with demands. To wait for ideal conditions before taking action is like waiting for every traffic light in the country to turn green before leaving your driveway. You will die sitting in your garage. The poor operate on a philosophy of when circumstances change, then I will act. The prosperous operate on a philosophy of action adjustment. I act now, and I adjust my sails as the storm changes direction. The law of diminishing intent states that the longer you wait to act upon an idea or an impulse toward discipline, the lower the probability that you will ever execute it. The moment an idea strikes you, the moment you realize a truth about your life, you must anchor it with immediate physical action. Write the plan, send the email, make the phone call, transfer the money. Do something to lock the intent into reality before the cold water of hesitation extinguishes the flame. Ask yourself right now, what critical move have you been postponing under the hollow excuse of waiting for the right moment? What truth are you avoiding taking action on today? Number 5, the blind reliance on a single stream of effort, the final subtle habit that traps individuals in financial vulnerability, is relying entirely on a single source of security, be it one job, one skill set, or one line of enterprise without building a secondary foundation. The modern economy does not reward passivity, nor does it guarantee permanent security to anyone, regardless of title or tenure. When you rely entirely on a single income source without developing market-relevant skills, personal equity, or secondary assets, you are engaging in a dangerous gamble. You are placing your entire life's stability in the hands of external forces you do not control. Poverty of enterprise begins when you accept the illusion that a steady paycheck guarantees safety. Safety is not found in an employer, a contract, or an economic climate. Safety is found in your internal capacity to produce value in any market under any conditions. Wealthy minds do not look for safety. They look for opportunity. They invest their spare time, the hours between 6 p.m. and 10 p.m., in building skills, acquiring assets, and creating value that belongs strictly to them. They understand that while their primary employment pays for their current lifestyle, their secondary enterprise builds their ultimate freedom. Look at your life today. If your primary stream of income vanished tomorrow morning, how long could you survive before desperation dictated your choices? What value can you offer the world that belongs strictly to your own intellect and effort? The binary path ahead you now stand at a crucial crossroads. The 5 habits we have discussed today are not complex, nor are they loud. They are subtle, quiet, and deeply ingrained in the lives of the majority. You can continue to mistake busyness for true productivity, or you can demand high-value enterprise from your hours. You can continue to tolerate small neglects, or you can enforce rigorous self-discipline in the small details of your life. You can remain in toxic, low-ambition environments, or you can prune your social circle and protect your mind. You can continue to wait for ideal conditions that will never arrive, or you can act immediately and adjust along the way. You can rely on a fragile single stream of security, or you can build internal capability and lasting equity. Poverty is a predictable outcome derived from small errors in judgment repeated daily. Prosperity is an equally predictable outcome derived from simple disciplines practiced consistently over time. The choice is not made in a grand, dramatic moment in the future. The choice is made right now, in the quiet solitude of your own decisions. Examine your habits, audit your time, demand more of your potential, and take command of your destiny today.